everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Marianne and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super happy to be here, I really am, and I'm reading for the June readings, every single sign. And today's featured sign that I'll be reading for is the beautiful water sign that is extremely, well, certainly sensitive, emotional, capable, very much a goer and a shaker and a doer, as I like to call the cardinal signs of the zodiac, which there are 4. And also the moon ruled. So there's the sensitivity and the understanding of cycles and feelings very, very deeply. And that is the sign of Cancer. Now, I have some personal family members and actually my late great grandmother that was Cancer, and just kept me to this day knowing and honestly never being able to forget how much love that she exuded. And it's interesting because that is one of the main traits they say about Cancers, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. There's this real deep desire to care for those that matter to you, you know, and to really put out that energy of absolute love and, you know, wanting to just completely mother, mothering, you know, once again, it could be the father, but, you know, that kind of, that's how I felt. We'd go to grandmother's house and it was just like, oh my God. So anyway, that's one example. And then there's many others, but I love the water signs a lot because they have such, they're sensitive, they're emotional, you know, they're caring, they're sentimental. They have what I like to say and call people with compassion. And that's who you are, Cancer. And it's kind of neat because you actually, you have some, this is a month that's going to make you shine, basically. I can't speak, darn it. The Mercury retrograde did station direct last Friday, but it's still not 100%, you know. So yes, things have already started moving forward, and I do want to emphasize that. I hope that's happening for you. Yesterday, when I did the upload of the video for Gemini, it was the first video in weeks, and that's not an exaggeration. That uploaded very smoothly. I think it was a matter of 25 minutes total, which is kind of the average time once you've put in the descriptions and all the various background things you do. So that feels good because I really want to do it. You know, I only do one a day as it is, and I just really like to get them out, but sometimes it's just beyond our control. So, and I think you understand and you know that, and you're really cool about that, and I thank you. But I do want to say that there's a couple other really important things. We're in Gemini season now, and that'll happen through the 20th of June, and then it's your sun season, solar return, beautiful Cancers, as well as, because you're a cardinal sign, that means you bring in a season. And it's a whole new start, you know, as far as the weather and the change of time and dark and light and so forth. And you bring in summer, and that's powerful. That's the sun, but it's also, you know, relative to the moon. And I don't know, there's a lot of powerful, beautiful feelings that I think a lot of people associate with summer. There's vacations, there's fun, there's being with family more with vacations. A lot of kids are out of school. And you get to play the part that you do so very well. And that's just, you know, accommodating and caring and taking care of. And the only thing I would suggest right off the bat that spirits are automatically saying is that it's all very well and good. And I know you actually thrive on it, but I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, of course. And that could be on all different levels, you know, and so we'll get more into that though. So for those that are new, I really appreciate you stopping in. My videos last anywhere from 35 to 45, sometimes even a little longer. So if there's certain sections when I explain to you what my basic protocol is, you want to fast forward, I'll fully understand that. I do tend to have the gift of gab, but what I do is I will pick a spiritually guided love connection for the beautiful sign of Cancer now with your reading. And this particular sign or energy is something that's going to be prevalent for you in the month of June, perhaps longer, or has maybe already been in your life, but you're just going to have more emphasis will be there for whatever reason. It's a general reading. So let's do that first and foremost. Oh, maybe I should actually let you know the protocol. So I do this, and then I do pick from my beautiful, I'm picking one all new tarot and oracles each day. I decided to do that this month, because with the feelings I have for you specifically as the sign, the featured sign I'm reading for. Usually I'll have one set for the whole month, but this is something that came to me. I think I did it once before, and it just feels right. So you'll have readings from a beautiful tarot divination I've chosen. That'll be for a card for each of the week. I can definitely pull out a clarity card or two if that feels necessary and I'm prompted to do so. And then I'll finish with the oracle messages that are usually just about love and wisdom of the universe that we're all a part of, we're all connected to. And we'll go from there. So one of them being the runes, because I love the rune and I'm studying the runes and wanting to memorize the meanings with all of them. And in order to do that, you just have to use them continuously until it sinks in there. So your beautiful love connection for the month of May, the month of June. Dear beautiful Cancers. Well, it's in the center, but I want to say it's Scorpio. Let's see if it might happen again. If it's meant to be, it was meant to be, right? And I always ask that Spirit guide me in the most positive, uplifting way for everybody involved in the readings. Ah, you have Virgo. Well, that's perfect. Virgo and Cancer are a combination, as I have studied the compatibility of signs for 40 plus years. Oh yeah, way more over that. I was 12 when I started. So there you go with my age, which is actually it's 64. So Virgo, earth sign, grounded energy, practical energy, hardworking as yourself, Cancer, whether it's being at home or what you do in your career. You're a very resourceful person who likes to keep busy, as I mentioned, with the cardinal aspect that you are. And that just is in your nature. Now, we happen to have the moon that went into Virgo today. And it'll remain there for, I think, 2.5 days. And it then goes into Libra. I believe that happens like latter part of the afternoon on Wednesday. Yeah, it's time to tie up the loose ends. You know, God knows we may have had some delays with this Mercury retrograde. And it could have had something to do with your projects with home, of course, that I mentioned, but also business comes to mind when it's the Pentacles, which is what the coins are, which is what the earth signs represent. So it's Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And the fact that your sun season is coming in this month is pretty special for you. So there should be celebrations and feeling grounded about who you are, why you're here, what you're doing. And then you have the new moon in your sign as well on the 28th, which is phenomenal. When you have a new moon in your sign, a new moon represents beginnings as it is, okay? And then, you know, you put down your intentions and you really fully immerse yourself in the emotions, which then bring it into a physical form on this, you know, 3-dimensional platform. And that's exactly what you can do with this very sensible, planting the seeds, you know, taking stock, allowing yourself to be in nature, getting away. Like I said, vacations are very prominent in June, and so that's perfect. I love that for you. You might very well be with a Virgo on in a romantic way, and I will bring up a couple of more very important aspects this month. We've had the beautiful, benevolent, and very powerfully good luck, fortune, opportunity, masculine, you know, expansive energy of Jupiter enter into Aries. That happened on May 10th, the very day that we had retrograde start in Gemini. And retrograde went forward, as I said, on the 4th. It went into the sign of Taurus and will remain there, I believe, through I want to say the 13th or 14th, when it goes back forward, you know, still forward, of course, in Gemini. But, you know, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So the conversations are going to come a lot easier now. And whatever they may be, I think it's to your advantage in positive ways. And so with the Aries kind of, and not only is Jupiter in Aries, but Mars went into Aries as well, like a week ago. And that'll be there through July 5th. So there's just this powerful feeling within yourself. The strength is building, the initiative, the spirit, the leadership qualities are coming through for all of us when Jupiter's in a specific sign, and the particular characteristics are then shared for all of us. But if you happen to have fire placements in your chart, which you can look up for free, which I always recommend people do, all the more power for you, I'm telling you. And it's great. It's going to last a long time. Actually through next May, but we have a little dip back into Pisces, which is another amazingly fellow water sign for you, complementary harmonious energy, Cancer. That'll happen at the end of October, the 28th through December 20th. So I feel really positive for you. I feel like things are really, really in a much better place on a lot of levels. So that is your love connection. But remember, you may not necessarily know this Virgo right now, and it doesn't have to be romantic. As I said, my love connection readings are never based strictly on that. But I started to say also the importance about something really important for all of us this month is that because Jupiter is in the sign of Mars, it's polar opposite sign, which is always connected to all of us. Each of us have a polar opposition sign that's exactly that. Very different than ourselves in a lot of ways, but also extremely complementary nonetheless. And so we thrive on it. We kind of feel that energy all the time. Aries is polar opposite is the sign of Libra. So there's a huge emphasis that will be happening for a long time, as I mentioned, through next year, with that little break in relationships, because Venus ruled Libra is all about relationships and about partnerships and about justice and fairness and seeing all sides of a situation so that you can conform in ways that make everybody happy and working towards that. You know, being bold enough to do so with the Aries, but at the same time, gentle and more tactful in a lot of ways than an Aries might be, okay? Aries are very, very childlike and very, you know how a child, when they want something, they're like, oh, you know, they don't think twice, and then they're not even angry after a while, like it just takes a moment, they don't hold grudges and that sort of thing. That's the energy of Aries. It's kind of cute and endearing in a lot of ways, or it's you know, downright, you know, impulsive and kind of, they lose their stuff, you know, because they have that fiery, passionate disposition at times. It's very indicative to what the other placements are always, or how you were raised, you know, the nurture versus nature kind of aspects of things. But you get my point. So love could be very much a part of this month. I guess that's where I'm really going with all this, and fun and good times. And then we have the full moon in Sagittarius on the 14th, and that's all about freedom and travel and absolute optimism. Jupiter ruled Sagittarius is somebody that just exudes this thing of, yes, we can make it happen. There's always a solution. Things will work. They're all about higher learning, philosophical, you know, outlooks on things. They point this wonderful arrow. They're known as the half man, half horse. I don't know the actual term for that. It's escaping me right now. And they mean business. They point that arrow and they shoot and they accomplish their goals. Their drive is very strong as a fellow fire sign. So I'm getting excited, and I have, because I tend to take on the energy of a lot of it for this month. For no other reason, because, you know, we don't have the setbacks and the delays and the postponements and the confusion that Mercury retrograde definitely can create in all of our lives. But it's there to slow us down, to review things, to, you know, relax and reinvent and, you know, yeah, go with the flow. Now, I do want to say that the two eclipses are still very much a part of what's happening in our lives, and it's the revealing of information from those, which was both the solar eclipse in Taurus on the very last day of April 30th, and then the big, full, beautiful blue blood moon in Scorpio on the 15th, 16th of May. These are eclipses are moons on steroid. They will last, and their effects will last for months and months to come. So Scorpio is all about depth. It's the water sign. It's the fellow water sign to you, the intensity, the desire to transform and change and to release things that do not serve us and to protect ourselves and have that stability that we want, Truth comes out a lot with this, certainly all new moons or full moons, forgive me, because they have a lot more light. And this particular one, that was the eclipse I mentioned in Scorpio, was really big because it was a super moon, so it's legitimately closer to the earth. So yeah, if you're feeling that way, it's going to settle down though in June, which I like too. That energy that's really pretty strong will temper itself as time goes on. So let's pick the deck for you for this month of June, the beautiful Tarot divination. And I'm feeling just right off the bat, the cat tarot. Now, I'm not saying that you're the only sign by any means, or any stretch of the imagination, but I know a lot of Cancers who absolutely love pets. So let's go with the animal kingdom now too, okay? Because that's a part of people and things that people. I call my cat a person. I treat him like he's a person. He reminds me of people sometimes. I think it's because they mimic what we do, whatever. I don't know, but you know where I'm going with this. Animals are our family members, so we have to include them. So I thought that would be appropriate. And then let's go with another oracle deck, which I think I saw right next to it that just kind of spurred my, and that would be this wonderful, I haven't done this in a really long time. Let's do Wisdom of the Oracle. They call it Baron Reed. A lot of readers use this, but I honestly haven't pulled this one out for a while. I mean, I'll do some doubling up with my readings, but for the most part, I've done all separate decks thus far. So I'm going to, like I said, be pulling for the first 4 week cards, okay? The first 4 weeks, well, there's only 4, so, 4 cards representing each week. How's that? And so we're in the first one now. Today's actually the 6th. It's a beautiful day. It is gorgeous weather. We had a little bit of rain where I'm located in the Bay Area of North America, California, so that was needed. Oh my, that felt really good. My plants appreciated that in the backyard. Today is clear and gorgeous, and I feel, like I said, this opening, I've already accomplished a couple things today. I'm going to head out and do a massage after this reading that I wasn't able to do during the last month, so it felt really good, and there's a few more of those pending, so I'm thinking all of us will benefit from this time frame and the Virgo aspect. So you have, for the first week, it's looking good to me. Yeah, you have the 9 of Cups. Wow. Yeah, right? Am I right about this? It's been so long since I pulled this deck. Is that I'm so sorry, I don't think it's the Cups. I believe it's the Wands. Yeah, because the Pentacles with this beautiful deck with the animals is always the food, it's the sustenance. It's like I said, the grounded part of the practical things, day to day, the Virgo influences. And this, I believe, is the Wand. So the 9 of Wands is maybe just, you got one thing that, look at the gorgeous card. I hope it doesn't get blurry for you. I feel like I need to look it up though, just to be real with you. I was feeling really confident. I had taken a while to get this because this deck is a little more challenging than the average ones as far as what the different elements are. Anything with the claw in this deck is the swords, like the swords, and the major arcana, it makes sense. It comes right on it. But as far as the pentacles, I do have a little bit of question for that. So I know the cups are usually the bowls. So let's go right to it and just see here. We're at the 6. No, it is not the pentacles. So what would that be? The wands, I guess? Huh. Interesting. Let me just go there really fast. I apologize. I just want to make sure that we're, you're giving the right information especially still part of this cloudy. Where are the wands now? Your beautiful book. We know the swords are something else. We've already talked about that, so that would only leave the wands, wouldn't it? As far as I'm concerned. But unfortunately, yeah, of course, we have the wands being apparently the very last or the very first that I'm missing. Either way, let me just tell you as I'm thumbing through this, and hopefully you're doing something that'll keep you occupied in the meantime. Wait a second here. It's got to be on the corner here. Of course it is. 9 of Wands. Yes, it's a very dark picture too. Good heavens, you can't even make that out. Okay. Well, that's different than the other ones. There are ribbons and things in the other ones. But these are balls. These are gorgeous, beautiful. And what it's saying is that, you know, you are just so close. You're so close to finishing a project, to putting all this effort, all this, you know, physicality, mental, emotional part of you, everything, you know, and especially emotional because you're cups, into an endeavor, a relationship, maybe something that you were trying to take care of physically, you were hurt in some way. I had a surgery, so I'm amazing. Is it completely healed? No, but it's very mild. And I'm on that home stretch. And that is what this is basically saying. Perhaps this retrograde just had you kind of really turned around and you're like, we only have another week or so and we're on the home stretch of knowing we can go completely forward now. And the communication is absolutely going to be better. And we are in Gemini season. They are notoriously known for the ability to communicate and express themselves and join forces and teach people and share knowledge and all those things that air signs do. So I like that a lot. It's that the 9 is the, like I said, then it becomes a 10, and the 10 is a 1 with a 0. You take away the 0, it's a new cycle. So hang in there, okay? With the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, there's a man with all these wands around him, but he's got, you know, a bandage on his head because he's been sweating it a bit, maybe a little bit injured, like I said. And God forbid that's the case, but if it has been, you've been under the weather, you are almost out of it. Yes. That's got to feel good. So that's a good thing to know coming into this month, because there's too much fun to be had and too many positive influences with this planetary, you know, aspect that affects us all, whether we realize it or not. It does more so for other people than not, because of our placements in our chart, because of so many different variables there. But you can compare notes with other people a lot of time and they'll think, yeah, I was feeling that way too, and I wasn't even really sure why, because our lives are different and we have different approaches and stories about it, and to the degree we feel things. But yeah, we're all in this together, trust me on that. Now the second week is when we are going to be affected by the beautiful, and with the one exception of a square with this beautiful full moon in Sagittarius. I mean, I can't say it enough. I really feel like the plans to get yourself away and to just have fun and take that time and to explore and to absolutely enjoy your parties, you know, birthdays and just do you, basically, you know, is very prominent. But the square to Neptune is also going to be a part of it. And it won't, I don't think it'll override, but it'll be in the mix. So, you know, I need to mention it. Neptune is the planet of the underworld where we don't see things in the clearest of light. There's tends to be fogginess around circumstances, and maybe you feel like you're not getting all the truth on the situation or all the details once again. And here we just got out of the Mercury retrograde fogginess. And I believe I want to say next month it will be when Neptune, don't quote me on that, does actually go into retrograde as well. But Saturn went into retrograde last Saturday. You know, there's that time for reflection and introspection with a lot of things. Saturn is the taskmaster, but he's really just there to guide us and to keep us on track. okay, so that we can be the best we can be and not get too detoured in areas that aren't going to be for our highest good. It's really, in the end, the best thing for us, and it's about time and time management. And we all need that at times too, right? So it just keeps us in focus. Second week, your beautiful thing is the Page of Wands, and there you go. There's the fire. There is the influence, certainly with Jupiter in Aries and Mars in Aries, right off the bat. Like everybody's feeling more powerful, I think, than they have in a while, and able to speak what they feel, and hopefully in a tactful way, so it doesn't have any repercussions. But you know, the page is the beginning of things. It's the newness. It's the messenger. They are messengers. They're usually youthful a lot of times. I said before, and I believe this Aries energy can be very youthful and just like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do it. I'm a dreamer. You know, a kid thinking, I'm going to grow up and be an astronaut. And a lot of people can. And it's not a dream that I would ever, you know, curtail if somebody wanted that. It's just, there's a lot to it. But to keep those dreams alive are what inspire us, right? I mean, without those, I can't imagine a life without goals or, you know, dreams and inspirations. And this is what it's speaking of, as well as our own children. Maybe, you know, the Cancerian energy, once again, that you emote throughout the month with your, you know, sun season coming in and then the new moon. It's about being with our families and spending beautiful, wonderful times together and appreciating that time, because believe me, it is fleeting. Oh my goodness, is it ever. So I like that a lot too, you know. And also it's about initiations, the start of ideas, the start of a new, you know, job perhaps, or entrepreneurial endeavor. I mean, with you, Cancer, you have a lot that you can do at the same time. You're very good at that. And so that's inspiring to me, because you're getting over this other kind of something that's maybe overwhelming you. It was just too much. You were taking on too much. You can delegate it to your children or something, you know, now that they're home from school, right? Like, can you go and, you know, do the dishes for a change or make your bed or whatever? Although I'm sure you're more than happy to do it. It's good training. I grew up with that. My mom had us doing our chores pretty early on. The third week, however, we have the Ace of Swords. Whoa, it's so cute. You've got the caretaker clipping the beautiful claws. And that's the swords. I told you they're always representing the claws on a cat. I do my own cat's claws. And the vet, I took him for his 2-year checkup. He said, you do a great job. I'm like, thank you. Because, you know, you don't want to hurt him, but you don't if you do it right. So, Ace of Swords, Libra influence, you know, the balance, the mind, the thoughts, the Gemini, the conversations, the beginning of incredible conversations, and ones that could lead to very beneficial and healing energy, because I think a lot of the things that were wanting to be discussed last month weren't exactly coming off the way you would have liked them to, or you didn't even get the chance to have the conversation, you couldn't get through. All the things that happened during the time that we were going through. And now it's like smooth sailing. Let's start up again. Let's make it as concise as possible. And that will have had a lot of effect from the full moon too. The meeting people you may not have expected to, maybe in your travels. But something beautiful, something truthful and justified and, you know, fair is a part of this conversation, and we all want that, right? We want to be heard as well as speak. And I just think it's great. I love it. Any beginnings during this time is essential, because it's going to be very clear sailing for a good month and a half or so before the next shadow period. And, you know, I just, more power to you. Absolutely. You can never, there's no age associated with being able to speak and articulate and work towards that. And I can tell you, because I speak too fast sometimes, and, you know, I know that has a lot to do with whether people watch my channel. And of course I want people watching my channel. I do it out of love. I absolutely want to help people. I just want to share certain things, that not only through the beautiful divinations, but my own personal life, because it's been so helpful for to me that I just want to pay it forward in a lot of ways. And I appreciate people that are tuning in always, you know, new, returning, what have you. I love and appreciate your support. I haven't finished the 4th week reading. Feel free to do that at any time. It is greatly appreciated, and it's free. And the 4th week is your beautiful new moon, Cancer. Wow. So you have a lot of fire in your chart. I mean, you had the Page, now you've got the King. And that's just the strength I was telling you about. That's the ambition. That is the new moon in your sign, deciding what you want to do and seeing it to fruition. Now, I didn't say, but I will mention, which I have on many other videos, you're extremely prophetic. You're very capable of great intuition, psychic phenomenon, energies that come with your innate personality and characteristics. You definitely can have incredible dreams that will help to inspire and will give you downloads of positivity. And I'll tell you, the King of Wands is all about that. Just let's make it happen. There's the Aries I spoke of. There's the Sagittarius I spoke of. And then there's Leo. So directly after your season is Leo. But there's a lot of strength that comes like with Leo. And there's a lot of, I don't know, there's just this incredible optimistic energy you're feeling. You feel like you can do anything. You know, just don't overdo it. That's all I would ask of you. So that is fantastic. And you're just jumping for joy with your friends. You're having fun. You're seeing to action. You're making sure that things are actually happening now. You know, and certainly by the end of the month, there's no getting around it. So I love this reading. I'm happy for you that it looks as though anything that might have been holding you back with this first week will pretty much be diminished by next week. So, or the end of the week, if it hasn't already. It's well on its way to that. And then I want to say that I would like to read your oracle message, and I can do this later actually. Whoops. Pick that up later as well. And this is, like I said, the wisdom of the hidden realms, and it is just a special kind of uplifting message just for you for June. And I have a little booklet that I can read to you if I'm not able to really convey a lot of what the message is, but I will pick up what I can and take it from there. And you have, oh, okay, oh, wow, okay. Well, it has to do with love. Can I just say that? And I'll read you more. Because I know you love love, and I think you're extremely caring and, you know, devoted. So I see very few Cancers that are not involved in love, to be honest. And it's called, your card says the Unfinished Symphony, and it's number 10. And I described to you and explained to you what 10 is. It's the beginning. It's a new cycle. So there's something in you that is yet to be emerged and coming through, and there's something you feel that you absolutely need to share and convey to the world, you know, whether it's through poetry or music or dance or, you know, writing a book or what have you. You know, you want to express this, and that is so congruent with this wonderful Ace of Swords. So yeah, let it out. Let it share your gifts, as they say. Share that creativity, which you have unlimited amounts of and capacity for. And I'll read to you from the book specifically what it says as well, but that's what I pick up on instantly. I don't know if I showed you. I apologize. It's kind of small, but it's beautiful nonetheless. The illustrations on a lot of these decks I just think they're amazing. And one of my goals and dreams is to actually create a deck, you know, in my lifetime. I think it would be so amazing, and finding the right artists, or, you know, people to work with. The essential meaning is unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, and need to make amends. Well, that's interesting too. So that might be that maybe you've had this falling out from this as well. I mentioned other possibilities coming into this week. You're not quite there yet. It hasn't quite been resolved, but it's about to be. Oh, please allow that, because that'll lift you and enlighten you instantly. Take it from someone who knows, okay? And if it's somebody that you are not in touch with, but you're not feeling any kind of malice or anything like that too, sometimes when we detach like that, that's okay too. That's a closure. It's understood. It's not like you don't want to carry any kind of, animosity or burden in that regard. Most people know that, and it can be easier said than done, but that's what this is absolutely saying. So you can free yourself and move forward with just completely light. And this is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle. There you go, the 9, the next one's 10. Or project and a mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur, and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what is past so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. That's a beautiful way to articulate that, I think. So there you go. Now that could be for a certain percentage of you, or maybe a larger percentage, but I think it's a great bit of advice that the oracles like to bring to us. Take them or not, and just do what you feel is right for you. You do have that free will always. So I like that. That's beautiful. I'm going to finish with your rune, as I said. And what I do is I pick it out from this beautiful little velveteen pouch here. And I'll stick back this one from yesterday's reading and shake it up. And just tell you that I really, truly feel this is going to be one of those months that you'll remember. Especially when you're about to have your solar return and it's your birthday, whether because you're turning another age or something about this particular cycle in your life, because we have so many different phases and cycles. It's going to be very, very, it's going to be a very prominent, beautiful memory for you. And you have great memory for things like this, so you can chalk it up for just another wonderful experience you're having on this planet in this time. So I have this one that I only did recently, but I'm not remembering it. It looks like a Z, but I remember it wasn't even close to a Z. So let me look that up for you and not try to guess and read to you what it says. Okay, these are the beautiful runes that have been around for thousands of years, and they just have this and they're based on the alphabet, the Greek alphabet, and they are incredibly filled with this very strong wisdom and need to share and to have you recognize how incredibly synchronistic a lot of these have been with the readings this far. And since I started doing the runes like this, it's really beautiful. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. Did I pass it? As I always like to say, it looks like Zorro. But it is indeed not a Z. And I told myself last time I would remember. And I'm not. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm not seeing it. What is happening? What is happening? Please help me. Is that it and I just don't know it? I'm having a kind of a different time today, aren't I? Okay. Well, nope. 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 I mean, maybe this is it. It certainly doesn't look like it. Wow. Because, I mean, they're all out of the box. So I am so sorry to take your time. But I want to make sure and pull the right one for you. Yeah, if there's more left in here. Oh my gosh. I think I heard something. Please don't tell me. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's got to be this one. Okay. It certainly doesn't look like it, though. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And you can see I'm still not convinced. You know, you're noticing that, right? Because I'm just not. I may have to pick another one just because. It's clearly like a Z. And the Z, I know, is not an actual Z. I remember that about my memory. But I can't tell you exactly what card it is. So I love we have a blank one too for another definition that I'll hopefully, maybe I'll pull it for you one day. Okay, yeah, this is interesting, and I'm going to have to pull another one. I am so sorry for doing this to you. There is, clearly it's not in there. Huh. Okay, well, like I said, it's not the end of the Mercury retrograde. We're just skimming through it, though. We're getting there. Ah, I said I may have to pull this. I got the blank one. Okay, I kind of dig that, too. So you can imagine, I guess, you know, because you're like that, beautiful Cancer, that the blank slate, if you will, is just that in a lot of ways. It allows us to use our most vivid imaginations to create and manifest the lives that we want. And it says wired. It almost sounds, it says pronunciation and it's spelled weird, but it is spelled W-Y-R-D. And it's rune number 25, which 2 plus 5, numerology-wise, becomes a 7. And 7 is a very spiritual, divine number for so many reasons. It's gorgeous. There's 7 chakras. There's 7, you know, hues in the rainbow. I mean, it goes on and on. But it's definitely a divinely guided number. And the theme is fate. So the key words are wild card, possibility, karma, conceal, unclear, secrecy, and inspiration. Now, I mentioned this, you know, the very powerful influence that the Scorpio full moon had, and I would say that it's not any secret. A lot of Scorpio tendencies tend to be secrecy, you know, hidden within, deep within. The reservoirs are deep, the water runs deep, you know, and then the transformation comes about because we're able to what am I trying to say? When you diagnose, you know, probably better than anyone else would be a Scorpio. But it's not always clear what their intentions or what they're thinking until it is. So there's that, and there's inspiration to know and to recognize that you will find the truth. It will come to pass, and certainly things are becoming more evident, and the truth has been brought to the surface in the world on many things in the last recent weeks. So it'll continue to happen. Seeking deeper insight, concealment, seeking inspiration, inviting possibilities. Well, I love that. That's what that blank slate is. Anything is possible in this world. It really is. You know, and the more we realize that and focus on it, the more it becomes our reality. And it's just, there's no stopping us, you know. The key phrase is be prepared for the unexpected, a blank canvas. Anything is possible. Patience, nothing is available right now. Cloak your thoughts, feelings and intentions. Blank expression, reveal nothing. Look deeper here. What else is there? The hand of fate. So a lot of these interesting, you know, secretive kind of energies, they will be revealed, I can promise you. And that is the long-term effect, as I said, of the eclipses, little by little a lot of times now. A lot of things may have already happened to you, Cancer. You may be ahead of us in knowing in that beautiful ability to see the future in a lot of ways. It's a well-known understanding with the signs, the water signs. But I would say that absolutely things will one by one be brought to the surface, and the truth will be revealed for the betterment of everybody, and that includes you. So I hope that made sense, and I apologize for having to look for a card that I never actually found. So hopefully we'll remedy that. That'll be something I will look into immediately. And I just want to thank you again for stopping in today. I'll be back for July, so I hope you will be as well. Take great care of yourself. Have a beautiful, beautiful birthday season. It'll actually be through July, so I'll be wishing you birthdays in July as well. So until then, you take good care, and bye for now.